Hey, this is Dr. Mort Orman, and welcome to another episode of Storytime, where we look at stories we frequently tell ourselves that aren't really true and therefore get us into trouble and cause stress in our lives. Now, the story I'm going to tell you about today, I've given a name to. I call it No, They Dunt. N-O, They Dunt. And I'll explain to you as you go along, you'll see why I called it this. But it's basically two stories that I'm combining into one because they frequently go together and are very common. These are stories we tell ourselves just about every single day of our lives. And the two stories go something like this. My thoughts and my feelings are necessarily true. I mean, if I'm thinking them and I believe them and I have strong feelings, then these must be true. And this is a story that we tell ourselves that is not as true as we think it is. In fact, there are many instances where our thoughts and our feelings are misleading and get us into trouble and cause stress in our lives. And we tend to overestimate the degree to which our thoughts and our feelings are accurate. And this phenomenon has been well documented. There have been a number of psychological studies, and it even has a name. It's called superiority bias or the illusion of superiority, where we tend to overestimate our true capabilities, our true abilities. So you've probably heard about studies where people have been asked if they consider themselves above average, below average, or just average with regard to their driving abilities. And 90% of the people will say that they're above average. Well, we know that mathematically that's not possible, but that's what people do. That's what we all do. So we have this incredible tendency to overestimate the degree to which our thoughts and our feelings are accurate. And that really does lie at the root of a good bit of our stress, and we don't realize it. Now, I'm not going to give you specific examples in this video because that's the purpose of this whole video series, the Storytime video series. All you have to do is go look at any of the other episodes, and you'll see specific examples of where we believe one thing or things are one way and they actually turn out to be another. So we don't really need any more specific examples in this one. But I do want to leave you with two things to help you remember this key point because it's that important. And the first is a quote from Mark Twain, and the second is a short video clip from the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights. Now, with regard to the Mark Twain quote, Mark Twain once said, "It ain't what we don't know that get us into trouble. It's what we're certain that we do know that ain't really so." And that's a good way of remembering or thinking about the superiority bias, our tendency to overestimate the degree to which our thoughts and feelings are accurate. And then with regard to the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights, this was filmed back in 1998 starring Harrison Ford and Anne Heche, a very cute movie. And in the movie, there are also two other characters, David Schwimmer, who's Anne Heche's fiance, and then there's also a very pretty woman who is Harrison Ford's girlfriend. And Harrison Ford and Anne Heche fly off for a business meeting in Tahiti, and it's supposed to be a short trip. Their plane crashes on a deserted island. They're missing for several days. And the scene I'm going to show you in a moment is David Schwimmer's character and Harrison Ford's girlfriend are back at the bar. They're worried about the fate of their respective mates, and they're having a short conversation about love. And in this conversation, Harrison Ford's girlfriend says that she doesn't think men really understand what love is. And of course, David Schwimmer is going to try and defend men in this situation. And so he says that he understands what love is, he knows what it is. And Harrison Ford's girlfriend responds, "Well, I have men tell me they love me all the time." And then David Schwimmer comes back with this, very naive statement that, well, I'm sure some of them mean it, to which the girlfriend responds in a very classic way to kind of slap David Schwimmer upside the head and give him a dose of reality. So I just want you to take a second, look at this, and then I think you'll know why I call this story what I do.
Not to insult you, but I don't think men know what love is.
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Well, guys, they tell me they love me all the time.
Well, I'm sure at least some of them mean it.
No, they don't.
So I show you this clip because this is exactly what you need to start doing with yourself. You need to start having these kinds of conversations with yourself. So when the David Schwimmer within you starts to try to convince you that your thoughts and your feelings necessarily equate with what's true, okay, you need to start saying to yourself, no, they don't. They don't mean that. They're not necessarily true. They could be incorrect, and in many cases, they will be incorrect, and it's incumbent upon you to find out when they are. And a good clue is whenever you're experiencing stress, you've probably got some of those false ideas about what's really true. Talk to you later.